Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. I welcome you in this video, which is based on writing an excellent story for Cambridge's paper. Please stay with me till the end because not only I'm going to discuss a sample paper, but also I'm going to talk about the mark scheme and all the techniques to write a wonderful story according to the Cambridge mark scheme. If you are new on my channel, please subscribe it right now and please share your wonderful comments with me and like and share this video as well. When we talk about story writing, it is a part of English paper 1, section 2. This is how the paper is formulated, and you can see that the last part is the question, which is having a heading narrative writing. For this part of the paper, you have to write 350 to 500 words for 30 marks. This is how the questions are set. When we see these questions, we can say that there are two types of question. One is the story where a line is given, either to begin the story with or to end the story with or to include that line in the story according to what has been set for you. The other type of question is where a situation is given. If you see question number 5, write the story which includes a sentence. This is the story with a line. And the other, write a story in which a science laboratory plays an important role. This is a story where a situation is given. So remember these two types of questions in your mind, that such type of stories can be asked. Now, story writing is actually the question which is mostly attempted by the students, and students think that they have a very good hand on writing the story. But it is not like this. First of all, we will discuss that what is a story. Actually, a story is something where we are discussing a single event or an experience. It is mostly fictional, we make it. This is an example of a fictional story. The word limit is 350 to 500, as I've already discussed. Then this story must have a beginning, middle, and end. Okay. And that the story should be written in a way that it creates an impression on the reader and on the examiner as well. These are the elements of story which I'm going to discuss one by one. First thing is the point of view, that what is going to be the position of narrator in the story. That when you are going to write a story, then the story may be in first person by using I, me, or my. It can be in third person by using these pronouns he, she, or it can be in second person, which is quite rare. So I suggest my students that they should write story in first person. That is the best way to write a story. Now, when we are to write a story, the most important thing is how to get an idea. This is a question that on which we should write a story. What can be an idea? I always suggest that please don't go for some borrowed idea. Don't make your story on some already made story or on some novel or on some drama, rather than observe things around you, because there are many people around you who can be a subject of your story. The people around you can be in your relatives, they can be your friends, they can be people in your area. So you can modify them, or you can change them a bit. You can put them in different situation and you can create a wonderful story. There are many situations around you which can be taken for story writing. That can be one unusual day in your school, that can be a hustle in the market, that can be some natural phenomena, that can be some other disaster that can be taken, some accident which can be taken. So there are many things around you which can be taken as some event in your story, or some unusual experience that can be taken as your story. In this way, your story is going to be unique, and it is going to really appeal the reader, and you can get good marks on this. After you have decided the idea of your story, then the question comes how to begin the story. Starting the story with once upon a time is not at all recommended. Then how should you begin your story? Well, you can begin your story with some action like this. He impatiently knocked at the door. Any action can be taken to begin the story. He has been running for an hour, or the boy yelled at me. Any action can be taken as the starting line of your story. You can begin your story with the dialogue as well. This can be like this. Well, I don't have courage to tell it. You can see that it's put in speech marks. So dialogue can be a good idea to start a story, or you can begin a story with some good saying. So any idea can help you to begin the story. So once you have your idea made, you've decided upon your beginning, let's move on and decide about the setting of the story. Setting means that where is your story situated, which place is it, what time of the day it is, or the time of the year in which the story is having its setting. Actually, you have to create the whole atmosphere in your reader's mind by giving good description. Without a good description, you cannot set a very good story. If you are showing a house on fire, even then, with the help of good use of description, you will have to sketch that scene in your reader's mind. Once you have created the setting, you have told your readers about the setting, then the point the comes the step where you have to create your characters. Now, your characters are mostly, if they are not real characters, they are imaginary characters, then you have to portray them in a way that they look real to your audience. So be very descriptive in talking about your character. Talk about their appearance, their dressing, their features, their emotions, their feeling, and discuss their feeling on different points in the story. Like when they are in difficulty, how do they feel? When they are in happy mood, how do they feel? And at the end, when your story is ending and things are coming towards the end, then show that how they feel. In this way only, you can come up with your good characterization. Then having a real characterizations requirement is to add some dialogues in your story to show that your characters speak also. So once the characterization task is done, you have your idea made with you. Then think about the plot. Now, what is a plot in the story? Plot is actually a series of events. What happens after one event? So they should be such a nicely, carefully knit that they all look real. Things are happening once after the other. Generally, when you generally when you think about a story, that then your story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is a journal division of the story that should be kept in your mind, and this peak will show that how your action rise in the story. This is how you should begin, that in the beginning the story space is mild, then the conflict, the problem arises, and the problem reaches to that climax. And after this, your falling off the action begins, and then you are going towards the resolution. This thing can be done in 4 to 5 paragraphs, 5 to 6 paragraphs, depending on you, using a very good and standard language. Now, I've just talked about conflict. Conflict is actually some problem in the story. Now, how to bring a conflict in the story? That you will have to devise before writing a story. Once your idea is finalized, you will think that what is going to be the conflict in my story. That can be a conflict among the people, okay, problem within two friends, problem in the family, problem among the siblings and the parents, problem between teacher and student, that can be taken. A problem into neighbors can be taken. Any conflict can be taken. That can be a conflict between a person and a nature. Now, how it can be? Like, it can be a conflict when you are in some harsh circumstances and you have to save yourself that can be survival in a flood situation, that can be how to react and how to save yourself in some earthquake situation. So any type of conflict can be taken, and conflict can be some internal conflict as well, like some character is having a great fear for something, or some character is having lack of confidence, or some character has some aim to achieve but is unable. That can be some internal conflict that can be presented by you. So you have to bring that conflict to a climax part, to such a high part that your readers are taken with you to that high point, and they are having a suspense feeling, they want to read on, they are hooked to your story, they want to know what happens. So you have to very carefully bring your all action to that climax point, where you very carefully and in a rational way show that your conflict, that problem in your story is now on the peak point. Okay, so this is the climax part, which is mostly the middle of the story. And after this, you have to show the resolution of the story. The problem is getting towards the resolution. The things are getting resolved. This is how you must step by step take your story. And I suggest you that little planning in the beginning will help you to create a wonderful story, which can help you to get good marks. The last part of the story is the resolution. Okay, so mostly students wrap this part in haste. This should not happen. This should be nicely done in a very peaceful and in a very natural manner. So resolution is the part where the story is having the solution of that problem. It is mostly the action after the climax, and where the things happen to the solvation, to the solution of that particular problem. So that is actually we are moving towards the ending of the story. Things come to an end. You must show that everything settles nicely. There is another very important thing in the story, that is the theme. And it is actually the main idea of the story. It's misspelled. It is actually your main idea of the story. It is actually the topic of the story on which you are writing. It is actually that underlying lesson which you are going to give to your readers. So your story must have something, whether it can be friendship, it can be helping other, it can be kindness, it can be taking courage to overcome something, it can be any other theme which can be presented. It can be appearing as a superhero in some calamity, natural calamity, or showing something which was not expected of you. I mean, anything, your courage, your kindness, overcoming some fear, or performing unexpectedly, that can be some theme of your story. When you're writing a story, then you must be careful about your language standard. We know that Cambridge has set a very high standard. I'll show you the mark scheme in the next slide. You will see that how closely your language is monitored. Your prepositions, they have to be really very helpful in your story, and they must be nicely and wisely placed. Your punctuations, they have to be apt and correct and well chosen. If you are using dialogue in the story, you must show some dialogues, and those dialogues should be very well punctuated and nicely placed. Your verb forms, your spelling, your sentence structures, they need to be really very correct. You must write a story using a variety of the sentences, like simple, compound, and complex sentences. Then you must have a good hand on using some figure of speeches. So when I say that language standard, actually all these things, they come under it. So you must keep in your mind, being a Cambridge student, that your language has to be superb. You must have ample words with you, so that you are not repeating on your words, and you have a lot of words to describe feelings, describe people, describe actions, and show that you have a very good command on the language. Let's see the mark scheme. As we all know that Cambridge has a concept of band. For this part of the paper, there are 8 bands allotted, and accordingly the marks are divided. I'm showing you only these 2 bands. The rest you can see. This is the age band where the students will get all marks 27 to 30. There is no official cutting. But what is that script where the student will get all marks? It is the script where highly accurate writing is shown by the writer, apart from the occasional slips. Highly appropriately chosen task is shown by the students. Your sentence structures are very, and your verb forms are correct and appropriate. Your tense consistently used in a very nice way. Your tense conversion is good. Your vocabulary is wide and precise. I've just talked about you punctuation, your spellings, your paragraphing. They have all unity. So a lot of things are there which will be seen in your language. Then when we talk about the content, it is relevant. Your interest is aroused, not only aroused, it remains there till the end. Your tone and register is entirely appropriate. Your descriptions are well developed. Even they make an image. They create a complex atmosphere also in the mind. Then your arguments are well developed, logical. Your narratives are complex, sophisticated. Lot of things are there. Okay, so start working on your language if you think that you are not on that stage. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please share your good comments to help me improve, and subscribe my channel, and please press the like button, and thank you very much. Stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.